Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another edition of your damn questions. Today, as always, I'll be answering whatever the hell you want to ask. I have a review today, one review. I had another review, ready for today, but I kind of already reviewed the game in my latest top 10, which was a success, and I'm so happy that it succeeded, that you guys loved the video. I loved making the video. I have been planning that series for a long time. Oops. Yeah, it's a series. It's supposed to be a series. I want to make more, not just one or two. I want to continue making those top 10 super obscure gems. And there's a bit of a history to that series, but I'm going to wait for more people to join to tell the story. Anyway, so welcome everybody. Also, you might notice that I started at an unusual hour. That's because I wanted to start earlier than usual. But for some of you, if not most of you, this might be actually later than usual. And I'll wait for more people to join. But it's got to do with the fact that a lot of countries changed time. But we didn't in Mexico, not this year. Our president decided it was a bad idea to change time. And you know what? That's the one good thing he's actually done for the country. Because the rest is just garbage. He's the worst fucking president this country has ever had in its entirety. In its 175 years of independence. That's right, this country has never seen a worse president than this asshole right now. So I might be earlier for some of you or later than some of you. For some of you, I don't know. We didn't change time in Mexico. That's why I started randomly today. I was gonna wait until 12 p.m. Central Time, but no longer Central Time. More like 12 p.m. Mexico City time. I don't live in Mexico City, but it's the same schedule. And now it's 11:38 a.m. right now, so I was gonna wait until 12. So I'm 23 minutes. I started at 11:37. 23 minutes earlier than usual, but for some of you it's like 37 minutes later than usual, right? It's a freaking mess, guys, but now we did not change time in Mexico. So all of you probably did last weekend. I'm pretty sure some of you will change time. Some of you will probably change time by the end of the month. I don't know, man. It's a freaking mess. Anyway, I have one review today of a game that I really want to talk about. It's about this game. The remaster recently came out a few days ago. And obviously I got a review code from Nice America about some weeks ago. And I've been playing the game. I'm going to review the game, but I'm going to wait for more people to join. Today I want you guys to recommend like Ring of Red PS2. I didn't play that game, but I want you guys to recommend those types of games. JRPGs, indie RPGs, Western RPGs, because I'm going to be doing a mishmash. It is a mishmash, isn't it? Anyway, it's like you get the idea. It's a mix of RPGs from all over the world in these super obscure gems videos. I won't be doing that as often. I mean, we've all seen what happens when I do a sequel or a follow-up too soon. It usually fails hard, so I'm gonna have to wait a few months for the next part. But I hope you guys are looking forward to it, because this is a series that I've been planning for a long time. Hey Glenn, nice to see you here. Also, if I sound like I'm sick, I'm not sick, it's because the weather in this month is usually fucked up, like very fucked up in this country, well, in this city. Like it's really hot during the day, and at night it's also hot. Like late at night, like at 3 a.m. and the mornings are cold. And that's pretty much March and April for you in this freaking city. So, yeah. I go and go to bed at night, and I turn on the fan, and I'm like, and like, I don't know, 4 a.m. I'm like, with the sheets. Horrible, man. Where I live, we only have 2 seasons, winter and road construction. That's a good one. I live in front of a place that next year they're gonna start constructing. So man, construction is gonna start next year and it's gonna be horrible. I'm setting up for that. I'm trying to build a studio here, a recording studio, with panels and anti-noise shit. I already have a wall on that side, and I can barely hear anything from the street. But the construction site is gonna fuck everything up. Anyway, what Grow Lancer do you recommend me to begin with? You know what, the Grow Lancer series is barely connected. Only the first 3 games are connected, but the first one never came out of Japan. And it's not fan translated yet, and at least not fully fan translated, so you can't play it unless you know Japanese. If you know Japanese, start with that one. But if you don't, you can just start with any. I suggest starting with 3, Grow Lancer 3, because that's supposed to be the prequel to them all. And that's a great game. It's very hard, but it's not as hard as 2 or 4. So yeah, I suggest you start with Grow Lancer 3. Its subtitle is The Dual Darkness. It comes with Grow Lancer Generations along with the Sense of Justice. Yeah, start with that one, Dual Darkness. That's a great place to start because it's the beginning of the series, the prequel to it all. You seem to have lost weight. Yes, I don't know what the hell's happening to me. I think I should visit a nutritionist or something like that, because I think it's more about the exercise. I used to do a bike. I have a stationary bike, and I used to do for like 15 minutes every single day. But I noticed that I was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Yeah, so I just stopped. Yeah, my metabolism is like, I should be fucking fat, man. I'm 37 years old. I should be freaking fat with a big freaking pot belly, right? And I'm not. I mean, I do have a little bit of a butt belly already. I mean, I'm 37. What the fuck did you expect? But yeah, I shouldn't be like this. So for the past few weeks, I've been trying to reduce the exercise and just eat as much as I can. I'm just kidding. I'm eating normally. But yeah, I lost weight, so I don't know what the hell's gonna happen to me. For now, I'm just reduce the exercise and we'll see what happens from there. I ate pizza last night. Hope I get fatter. Oh yeah, Trails into Reverie coming up in July, right? Oh, we're still 3 months earlier for that, 3 months ahead of that. So I'm very excited, of course. Eiyuden Chronicle, we don't have a release date yet. What the hell? We don't have a release date yet for the Suikoden remasters or Eiyuden Chronicle. I don't know what's gonna happen there. I mean, it's April and we still don't have a release date for Eiyuden Chronicle. Do you guys think it's gonna be like fall, like December maybe, or October? Something tells me we're not getting it on during the summer. It would be great to release it during the summer, but we don't know. We don't know, right? All right, guys. What are your thoughts of E3 being dead? It's dead. I didn't know it was dead. I didn't know it was dead. Are you expecting Reverie to be the game of the year? No, I think Eiyuden Chronicle is probably gonna be my game of the year. But I could be wrong. What if it turns out to be a piece of shit or a mediocre game, right? We'll see. That's my most anticipated video game, not just RPG or JRPG or any genre. My most anticipated video game of this year is Eiyuden Chronicle. So we'll see. My second most anticipated game of the year is Reverie. Trails into Reverie, The Legend of Heroes. So we'll see. Because Trails of Cold Steel 4 was my game of the year, right? In 2021, I think, or was it 2020? I think it was 2020. I think it was my number 1. Yeah. I made a little video about that. It's just a music video with Sunshine Coastline. I don't know if you guys missed it or watched it. It got a whopping 31,000 views, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you did. And all of my picks for every single year are there. My JRPG of every year. Were you able to see the new interview with Mitsuda and Kato? No, I forgot about it. Thanks for reminding me. I also want to see an interview with the guys from Tri-Ace. There's an interview on Sultan's channel. He translated it to English. He put in there English subs because the interview is in Japanese. I want to watch that too. Sultan's channel is called Turn-Based Memories. Will Final Fantasy 16 be the top 3 of the year? I don't know, man. I hope they release a demo, because I'm not planning on buying that game. I'm not planning on even playing it. If there's a demo, I'll play it. I'll make a probably first impressions video, and that'll be the end of it. Unless I freaking love the demo. Unless I play it and I'm like, holy shit, this is an amazing game, so I'm getting this game, and maybe it'll be the game of the year. I don't know, right? Not a lot of people have joined. Only 44 people watching. It's probably because of the time schedule. A lot of people probably said, oh, this guy's freaking late. There's not going to be a Q&A today. So, sorry guys, it's a freaking mess right now. But from now on, this is my schedule, In fact, I'm like 10 minutes... I was like almost 30 minutes earlier than usual. But it's going to be like that from now on. Remember that, guys? 50 people watching. We did not change time in Mexico, and we will not change time in Mexico this year. So that's why probably this week my uploads were probably earlier than usual or later than usual for some of you. But for me, it's the same. I have the same schedule. Nothing's changed. So there you go. Now I'll be repeating myself over and over during the entire stream. Daylight savings happened. It happened for a lot of you. It did not happen for us. We're not using daylight savings this year in Mexico. Anyway, will you play Monochrome Mobius? No, I won't unless they release it on the PlayStation 4 in North America. I know it came out on consoles, I think, in Japan, not in the US, not in Canada, not in Mexico, not in any fucking place in the world. I want Monochrome at least on the Switch, on a console system. I'm a console guy. I should rename this channel to Erick Landon Console RPG. Because seriously, I don't play on Steam. I could play on Steam, but man, then my backlog will probably shoot up like crazy, and I have a shit ton of backlog. These past few weeks have been crazy, man. So many freaking games that I want to play and that I was planning on playing for several videos. Like for the obscure gems, I want to play other games. I played Little Witch Novetta, and I wasn't expecting to like in the game. I didn't even finish it. I have a huge backlog right at this freaking moment. It's crazy. Because I'm usually the guy who only goes by 1 or 2 games at a time. I don't have that... I do have a huge backlog. I always have a fucking backlog. I will always have a backlog, probably. Thank you, Kiss. But, these 2 weeks were far crazier than usual. I was playing like a different game every single day just to catch up. And I finished one yesterday, and you're not gonna believe what game it is. It's gonna be a surprise. You guys are gonna have to wait for my top 5 RPGs I need to talk about. Coming up probably at the end of this month. I have one more game that I want to put in that video. But the game that I finished yesterday, it's an RPG, and it's gonna blow your minds. Like, Erick played a game from this series, and not only that, he finished that game. Holy fucking shit. Yes. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. It's a surprise. I can't tell you, otherwise the video will be like, I already knew that. No, I want you guys to be like, what? Some conspiracy theories are gonna be there. People are gonna probably think that they paid me to talk about that game. Atelier Ryza 3, come on, man, no. How can that be a surprise? No. I don't have Atelier Ryza 3, by the way. I don't even have the second one. What happened is that I reached out to my PR contact in Koei Tecmo last year, and I said, hey, Atelier Ryza 3 is coming up this year. But I don't have access to the second game. You never sent the code for Atelier Ryza 2, and now it's freaking expensive, it's like $80. $80 fucking dollars. It's been out for a few years and it doesn't go down. Either the PS4 or the Switch. Maybe went down in your countries. It did not go down in mine. So in the digital version, it's $60 always. So fuck me, man. And I asked the guy, can you give me a code for this? Oh no, we can't give you codes for older games. Like, how fucking old is it? It's like 2 years old, not even that. But okay, you don't want me to give Atelier Ryza 2 publicity? I won't be able to give publicity to Atelier Ryza 3 then. I didn't say that. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, well. So he didn't reach out today, and it turned out that he quit the company. Probably a good decision. Anyway, whatever. So I don't have Atelier Ryza 3, and I'm just not going to pay for that game. You know, I'm not that big of a fan of the Atelier series. I'm just going to wait probably forever, because if the second game hasn't gone down in price, the third one probably never will either. How many Tales games have you finished total, Eric? Okay, so Fantasia, let's count them. This is a good clip for my second channel. Actually, how many Tales games have I finished? I mean, I've played every single one of them, and I'm pretty damn sure I finished the huge majority of them. So there's Fantasia. I finished Fantasia. I finished the PS1 version, fan translated version. Never bothered with the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom version. Never. I mean, the Game Boy Advance version, the only version we got, I did play that one, where I was like, man, this sucks. It's bad. It's one of the worst ports I've seen in my life of any RPG. Anyway, I finished Fantasia on the PlayStation 1, fan translated. So we're going by chronological order. Next is Destiny. I didn't finish that one. Rage quit in that game about 10 hours into it. I was like, man. Eternia, I got far. I think I was like 15 or 20 hours into it. And that's a short game on the PSP. And I never finished it. I abandoned it because I wanted to move on to other games. And I was tired because that game is a button masher. I mean, there's a lot of random encounters in there, and I was tired. And I never went back to it, and I regret that. One of these days I'm going to go back to it. Hopefully we'll get a remaster soon of that game. But anyway, going back to the countdown, Fantasia, then Symphonia, beat it on the GameCube, never beat it on the PS3. Symphonia, oh, what's next? Legendia, of course, I've beaten that game 3 times in my life. Legendia on the PS2. We need a remaster. We need a remaster of every older games, Tales game. I mean, we got one for Symphonia, why not Legendia? Even though half the world hates it. Anyway, Tales of the Abyss, I beat it on the PS2. So that's 4. What's next? Well, the DS titles, I beat Tales of the Tempest. On the DS, fan translated, Tales of the Tempest never came out of Japan. Innocence, I never beat it. Kinda rage quit in the game on a dungeon that I was just getting lost. And full of random encounters, I lost my mind. So there's 5 so far. Tales of Symphonia 2 on the Wii. I beat it twice in there. That's how much I liked it. That's 6 so far. Then we got Vesperia on the 360. I beat that game twice on the 360. Back when I had a 360. Never beaten the remaster. So that's 7. Grace SF, of course. I beat Grace SF. I didn't beat the Wii version. It's only in Japan. So Grace SF on the PS3. I beat it. Miraculously beat it because it's such a freaking hard-ass game. And you guys know me when it comes to action RPGs. I'm pretty lame. I've gotten better. But I still suck. So that's 8 so far. So we got Exilia 1 and 2. I've beaten both games twice. So that's 10 so far. Tales of Hearts on the PlayStation Vita. I beat that one too, so that's 11. And fantastic game, underrated. But it's not one of the best Tales games, but it's one of the best JRPGs on the Vita. And how many we got, guys? 11? 11, right? I lost count already. Damn. So 11. What's next? What came afterwards? Is it Cisteria? Yeah, Exilia 1 and 2. Tales of Hearts. It's Cisteria, isn't it? Cisteria. I beat Cisteria on the PlayStation 3. So that's 12. And then Berseria came afterwards. I beat that game too. So that's 13. 13. And then finally Tales of Arise. So that's 14. I have beaten 14 Tales games in my life. Pretty much the majority of them. I'm only missing Destiny. The ones that never came out of Japan. Including Innocence. and the original Hearts, and Eternia. Eternia is the one that I'm after next. That's the one that I really want to finish one of these days, but I kind of want to wait for a remaster. I know it's. I mean, I have a feeling that's gonna happen anytime soon. It probably isn't because Bandai fucking Namco, but I mean, they proved me wrong with Bats and Kaitos, right? I said they will never remaster Bats and Kaitos, and they fucking did. So, come on, Bandai Namco, what are you waiting for? Destiny, Eternia, Destiny 2. Every Q&A we have to talk about this. Innocence R is on Vita in English, so that's the one I'm gonna look for next, because I really want to beat Innocence. Anyway, those are that's the amount of Tales games that I've beaten my whole life. 14. That's a hell of a lot if you ask me. I'm proud. I'm a hardcore Tales fan. What about you guys? I think Systeria is a good game. It gets a lot of hate. I think it gets a lot of fun. I mean, it probably does this. Damn, it's just one of those games that I don't think it deserves the hate, but I don't think it should be left alone. Like, I'm in the middle. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like the game. I finished it. I probably never will touch it again. But I like the game. I finished it. Final battle was fucking horseshit. But I like the game. I think it's a good game. Is it one of the worst Tales games? Yes, it is. It is, but it's still a good game. I don't think there's a single bad Tales game. I think my least favorite is Destiny on the PS1. Somebody told me a long time ago. Well, you guys have told me multiple times that the director's cut version on the PlayStation 2. It's fan translated, fully fan translated, so I'll probably give that one a chance because the PS1 is, I think it's very outdated for me personally. I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's still a good game. Destiny, I never beat it, but it's a good game, right? Did you mention Vesperia and Graces? Yes, I did. I beat 14 Tales games. Damn. I mean, we're going by long-ass series like Tales, Shin Megami Tensei, Fire Emblem. Well, Fire Emblem, I've beaten every single one of them. No exceptions. Not even I even beat the only in Japan games. All of them. Well, I haven't beaten Fire Emblem Engage because I haven't played it. I saw it for $50 on Amazon. I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait for 40. 40 is the most I'm willing to pay for that game because I know for a fact I'm not gonna love it. Maybe I'll be wrong though. There's actually a fan translation for Destiny 2. I don't think it's complete. Seems Persona 3 might be getting a remake. We already discussed that in previous Q&As. It's not confirmed yet, it's just a rumor, but I hope it becomes true. How many Fire Emblem games are there? Okay, so there's the first one, there's the sequel, there's Gaiden, which later became Echoes, Genealogy, Thracia, Trachea, it's actually pronounced in Japan Trachea, 776, the Blazing Blade, no, the Binding Blade, the Blazing Blade, the Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. Should we count the remakes? No, I mean, what's the point? No. And then there's Awakening, Fates, Three Houses, and Engage. We're not counting Fire Emblem Heroes or any of those spin-offs, Warriors, whatever. So far there's been 14 main titles. We're not counting the remix, Shadow Dragon or Shadows of Valentia. We already counted them. So there's 14 main titles. I've beaten 13 of them. I haven't even played Engage. Hardest Fire Emblem is by far, not a single one comes even close. Thracia, 776. That's by far the hardest. It's a broken game. When it was released, it was successful in Japan, but there was a lot of shit. It got a lot of shit because the game was broken. The RNG was broken, the system was broken, the difficulty was like ridiculous. And I don't want to say this is what got Sho Sokaga, the creator of the series, to leave the company, but He left right after the release of that game. Don't you find that suspicious? I mean, the game is broken, objectively broken. It's not my opinion. You know, it was systematically, technically broken. And the creator of the series left after that game. Coincidence? I don't know. But yeah, that's one game that desperately needs a remake. Stupidly hard game. Have you guys played this game? I told the story in my previous video 2 days ago. Super obscure RPG gems. So it's called Little Witch Novetta. Idea Factory sent me a special edition. And I was like, man, I probably won't like this game. I mean, it's a third-person shooter. Not really a fan of those. And with shoulder controls, you know, like Resident Evil 4, like you target the enemy and, you know, the camera is right here. And then it's inspired by Souls. I mean, you walk around, you get the tips on the floor. Like in Dark Souls or Demon Souls, and but instead it's a third-person shooter. And it is very challenging. There's a standard and a normal mode. No hard mode. At least not in the PS4 version that I got. So I didn't try the normal mode. There's a standard mode, and that's the one the game recommends to you. So I tried that one, and I did die a few times, but it's not really that hard. But on normal mode, I'm pretty sure it's just as tough as the Demon Souls games and that shit. So I was like, man, I'm not gonna like this game. Why are you sending me a special edition? You know, why don't you just send a code, a review code? No, they sent because Idea Factory loves me. What do you guys want me to do? Even though I've trashed half of their games, but the other half are pretty good. So I played and I was like, man, this is pretty good. I didn't love it. They wasn't like, man, I fucking love this game. No, but pretty good game. Check it out, guys. Little Witch Novetta. And it gives you the impression of being stupid and comedic and silly. It's not. Sure, the protagonist is a freaking loli, fun, cute loli, you know, but it's got some messed up stuff in there. So the story is kind of serious, but it's not really a story-focused game. It's like 10% story, 90% gameplay. It's not an RPG. It just has small RPG elements, and that's it. Anyway, great game. The review of today. Let me wait a little bit more. More people needs to join. Thank you. Will you play an action RPG of Gilmore Girl? No, I wouldn't even watch the fucking show. Novetta is on Little Witch Novetta is on Steam, PS4, Switch. You know, all those games, all those systems. Which RPG has the best OST? Chrono fucking Cross, of course, man. What kind of question is that? How dare you even ask that question if you're a fan of this channel? Do you miss any aspects of living in Canada? Yes, I do. I miss the weather, believe it or not. People hate the weather with a passion in there. I fucking love it because I live in a fucking... I mean, it's too hot in this city where I live in, so I miss the weather in that city. I don't miss the weather in January or February. My God. Freaking minus 10 degrees. And I had to put a lot of layers of clothes and walk like 20 minutes away to the store or to the supermarket. I used to go to No Frills. And what was the other store? Metro. That's the name of the store. To Metro in Belleville. Belleville is a small town in the Quinte area in Ontario. I live there. And man, I don't know, back then I kind of resented that when I was walking through the snow towards a supermarket just to buy food and supplies. But I don't know, it does good times, you know. Have fond memories of those times. So yeah, I miss the weather in there. Obviously, like I told you, I missed. I lived in a small town, and the city where I live in right now in Mexico is the second most populated city in the entire fucking country. We're like 7 million people in here. So imagine, Belleville had like 50,000 citizens in there. So of course I miss that, the lack of people, the lack of cars, the lack of contamination, smog, pollution, traffic, noise, you name it. Yeah, I miss that. And I miss the retro stores. There were only a couple in there, like 3. But I miss going to them because all of them were walking distance. And in here, every single retro store or any video game store whatsoever is fucking far away from where I live. You know, I can't walk to them. And even if I had a car, I don't have a car. But if I had a car, I still wouldn't go because they're too far away. They're far away from here. So I miss a lot of things about Canada. The less people live in an area, the nicer. Yeah. Have you seen the Persona 3 remake leak? No, I haven't. I made a video about this on my second channel link in the description. Yes, I have a second channel in case you didn't know. Description. And I made a video about that. And I hope we get a remake of the FES version. I mean, the Atlus hasn't confirmed anything, but if it's true, I'm gonna welcome the fucking remake with open arms. I don't think it needs a remake though, but I'll take it. Oh yeah, they announced the pixel remaster of the original Final Fantasy games. I don't care about those. Speaking about the new Fairy Fencer, I started playing it last night. I got a code from Idea Factory, and I'm like only 1 hour into it. I've only played 2 missions, and once again, it's funny as hell. Just as funny as the first game, man. It didn't disappoint. It didn't. I was laughing almost the entire hour I played. Sorry. And the battle system is like, I can't discuss much, but let's just say it's good so far, it's decent. It hasn't impressed me, but I'm a die-hard strategy RPG fan, so it takes more to impress me. But so far it's been good, it's been interesting. I like it, it's not isometric, the camera is set in isometric automatically, but you can move it around. That's all I'm gonna say, because there's an NDA we reviewers agree to when we get review codes, so yeah. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm gonna make a review because it's Idea Factory and I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be a lot of interest in the game. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is including one in a top 10 or a 5 RPGs I need to talk about. One of those videos. It'll probably be there. It's coming up in April 25. Fairy Fencer F. Refrain Chord. It's got a lot of idle bullshit, unfortunately. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say. I started the game last night because I got a review code and I've been enjoying it so far. Yeah, it's pretty rare for a game to be genuinely funny, and well, this is just, I don't know, the writers nailed it. And I played all other Idea Factory games like the Neptunia games, and they don't make me laugh. I'm like cringing the entire time. I'm like, man, this isn't funny. But yeah, Fairy Fencer, man, I love the main characters. Freaking joke fest. The JRPGs I currently want current ports for are Enchanted Arms. That's a weird pick. Xenosaga, who doesn't want a Xenosaga port? Muramasa the Demon Blade. People need that game on the Switch. Eternal Sonata, maybe. I don't think it needs a port because it's still fairly cheap and affordable on the PS3 or 360. Arc Rise Fantasia, definitely. Definitely. Do you think we'll get a Xenosaga remake? A Xenogears remake? No, I don't think we will. I think the problem with Xenogears is that, well, Square Enix has the rights, so they can do whatever they want with Xenogears. But problem is that the developers, Monolith Soft, they kind of want nothing to do with Square Enix. They left for a reason, and they went on to create Xenosaga and then Xenoblade Chronicles. Xenoblade. I'm the same way in Spanish, you know. If you think my English is kind of broken and then I speak too fast, I talk too fast or something like that, and I end up eating up words sometimes, I'm the same way in Spanish. I talk really fast, and I shouldn't. I should talk like this. That's why I'm always better scripted in... I'm better scripted than improvised. But this is a Q&A. I want a remake of the first Parasite Eve. Count me in. Me too. But I don't want him to turn the game to a third-person shooter. I mean, Square Enix knows we do not want that. Okay, the third birthday on the PSP. I mean, what's up with that? What's up with that, man? It's a good third-person shooter. That's just not Parasite Eve, and they know that. So if they were to ever remake Parasite Eve, the first one, they know they just can't turn into a first-person shooter. Unless they want to take advantage of the Resident Evil 4 hype and release it as a third-person shooter with badass graphics and Aya Bree at her sexy best. Maybe we need more shower scenes. When do you think an RPG franchise is considered dead? When they don't release a new game in 10 years? 10 years is a good... That's a good question. But I mean, did you know when was Persona 4 released, the original? It was back in 2007, I think. It was 2007 or 2008, 2008. And then we didn't get Persona 5 until 2017. So it was like almost 10 years. And it didn't die. But yeah, I agree, 10 years is like... 2008, thanks. 10 years is like, yeah, we can consider that series dead. But we've seen revivals of series, very few, unfortunately. After 15 years of being dead or more. Yeah, 10 years without a single release, not even a spin-off. Yeah, we can say it's practically dead. Do you like portable consoles for JRPGs? Well, you guys know me. I've done tons of videos on portable systems. Best 3DS JRPGs, tier lists, PSP, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, etc., right? But I don't know what's been happening to me lately in the past few years that I just don't enjoy portable gaming anymore. I don't know, back then it used to take me just a couple of weeks to finish a video game or an RPG, on the 3DS or on the PSP or the PS Vita even. Hell, I finished Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 on the PlayStation Vita. That's the only system where I've played them, actually. I mean, I own the PS4 version of the second game, but I played them and finished them on the Vita, right? This was back in 2019, about 4 years ago. But back then was the time when I slowly started to lose interest in portable gaming. Why? I have no idea why. Maybe because I played too many portable games. I mean, this is why I got to play almost every single JRPG on the PSP and the 3DS. Because when I was younger, about 10 years ago or so, I had a video game store, I had a retro store, and I didn't have a TV because it was just a small kiosk. It wasn't a big store, it was a small kiosk, small one. So there was barely any... I mean, the TV, I didn't have a TV. And then when I got one, it was one of also old CRT. Plugging a PlayStation 3 or later a PS4 when it came out. I mean, the games looked terrible for CRT. And the PlayStation 4 couldn't be plugged in. But anyway, eventually I upgraded to another TV and so on. But it was a pain in the ass to play video games in that place because the TV was almost right in front of me. It was going to hurt my eyes. So I resorted to portable gaming a lot. I played a shit ton of PSP, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, and that's why I got to know so many. So what I'm thinking is that what happened to me is maybe I got burned out over the years, because I used to be that guy who was always playing 2 RPGs at a time. Always. One on my TV, any console, you name it, and one on my portable system, any portable system, you name it. Always twice, 2 at a time. And suddenly I just stopped. And I've seen people who have gone through the opposite effect. They can't stand playing on TV anymore, or they barely do. the majority of their gaming time is spent on a portable system, be it the Switch, the Game Boy Advance, the 3DS, PSP, whatever. You know, most of the time they play on portable systems. Probably because they're busy as hell, because their job demands it, or because they have a family and barely any TV time for themselves. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I mean, do you guys feel like you play more on portable or on TV or on both? You have a balance going on in there, or what about you guys? But I have no idea what's going on. It's like 3 years ago I kind of stopped. I barely played anything portable. And of course I've played several PS Vita games, but that's because I play them on the PS TV. The PS TV is a small thing, as small as this, probably smaller, that you plug into your TV. So a lot of the PS Vita JRPGs you guys have seen me talking about, or any video game whatsoever, I probably played it or play them on my TV. Right? But not on the PS Vita itself, portable, no. And the last game that I played on, well, currently I'm playing Ever Oasis on the 3DS. I've been playing Ever Oasis for like 2 months. 2 months. When back then it used to take me like 2 weeks to finish a video game or an RPG, or 3 weeks on a portable system, and it's taking me 2 months. And before that, I had abandoned the 3DS because I was playing Persona Q2. And I only have like 15 hours into it. 15 hours. And it took me over a year. And I also played Fire Emblem Fates Revelations. And it took me like months to finish. Because I was only playing like 1 hour or 2 per week. Or per 2 weeks, I don't know. So I don't know, guys, I have no idea. Maybe I got burned out from playing a lot of portable games. Or maybe I just lost interest, or maybe I'm getting older and the small screen are hurting my eyes. I don't know. But the truth is that I don't play a lot of portable games anymore. But thankfully I managed to play a shit ton of RPGs on every single portable system you can imagine. Now, only on the big ones, Game Boy Advance, PSP, whatever. And that's why I can still cover games like that are on portable systems. But yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm done with portable gaming, but right now it feels like I am for now. What about you guys? What's this? This Battletoads? Great song, huh? And that's a new video, yeah, for my second channel. I need a lot because I don't know if you noticed that I stopped uploading my Let's Plays. You know how I was uploading like 2 a week, 2 or 3 per week? My really old Let's Plays from over 4 years ago. I stopped. Why did I stop? It's because I'm starting to notice that I don't want to remember some things that went on in those streams. There's a lot of interaction with people that are no longer in my life. I'm not watching those streams, by the way. I'm not gonna sit through 2 hours and say, oh, okay, this video is good to go, let's upload it. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm just downloading them, deleting them from my main channel, and directly uploading them on my second channel. I wasn't even checking them, I leave them running for a bit when I publish them, but that's it. But I noticed recently, I was like, man, maybe it's not such a good idea to re-upload these videos, so I don't know what to do right now. For now, I'm gonna stick to the clips from these Q&As, and I'll make a decision. What I'm planning to do, I don't know if it's gonna be a good idea, because that means putting a couple of hours at least to every single video, and that's edit them, and only upload the good parts, the highlights of the stream. Instead of uploading a 2-hour long stream, I'll upload it that's in the form of a video, 15-minute long video, maybe 20 minutes or 10. Just the highlights of the entire stream. The funny parts, or the epic parts, or the interesting parts. I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys, but for now, don't expect any Let's Play, any Erick Landon RPG plays in my second channel, on my second channel. Anyway, Do you think Trinity Trigger has potential? I have no idea. Has it been released yet? You know what game has potential? Sea of Stars. I played the demo, and I'm gonna cover the game in the demo in an upcoming video. But I think it has potential. Any more developers interviews? It's possible I could reach out to some developers and interview them, but the problem is that the majority of them don't know English. They can't speak English, so they all need a translator, and most of the time getting a translator costs money. So I don't see that happening, man. As much as I would love to interview more developers, it's just I don't know if it's worth for them. I don't know. Where do you usually get your games in Mexico? Like I was saying about 20 minutes ago, I live very, very far away from any retro store or any video game store whatsoever. So all of my video games, I get them on Amazon or online, with delivery. And I've barely been collecting since I got back from Canada. I've been here. I came back 2.5 years ago. Yeah, it's been 2.5 years. Holy shit. I think I've only gotten I've gotten some gifts, but games that I paid by myself with my own money, I only got 10 or 15 in 2.5 years. So imagine that. Collecting video games, it's been pretty bad for me since I got back. Because all of the stores are far away, because prices became stupid, because COVID ruined collecting for me, like it did for many people. But yeah, I've barely been collecting anything. I was wondering which system do you think had better JRPGs, the PS1 or the PS2? If you were to judge their libraries individually. Well, I'm a die-hard PS2 fan, so I'm gonna go with the PS2. Most of my favorite JRPGs of all time are on the PS2, so naturally I'm gonna pick the PS2. And that's my only argument. It's personal. It may be a little biased, but I just love the PS2. I started playing JRPGs on the PS1 and Super Nintendo, but PS2 is the system that got me, that made me a true addict to the genre. That's when I realized, man, I can't stop playing. I'm a JRPG die-hard fan. So I know a lot of people that love the Golden Age, and the Golden Age was allegedly the Super Nintendo and PlayStation. And most people will probably pick the PS1 as the better system in terms of library when it comes to JRPGs, but I'm sticking my guns with the PS2. My hat betrays me. Well, this is just the logo of the PlayStation. This is not 100% just exclusive PS1 cap. But yeah, I love the PlayStation 1 too, so why the hell not? Maybe I should get one with the PlayStation 2 logo. This just means I like PlayStation. If you're interested about Sea of Stars, you will definitely try Chained Echoes. I definitely will once it's like $10. Did it get a physical release? Did Chained Echoes get a physical release? Anybody? What video editing software do you use? For this I'm using OBS Studio, and I have terrible lighting equipment. In reality, there's no equipment whatsoever. There's just the natural white LED lights in my room right now, and I am wearing a cap, so of course I'm you can barely see my face. I'm overshadowed by my own cap. And the editing software that I use for my videos is a free one. It's called VideoPad. I pay for it because I don't want to. When you get it for free, you get a limited use of it. So I'm paying for it because I got used to it. I do not recommend VideoPad. It's not bad, but it's not good either. But it's just the one that I started using when I started making videos. So it's the one that I know how to handle, I know how to edit in that software. Because every time you start, if you start with a new software, man, it takes a long time to figure things out. And I'm too old for that shit. I'm sticking with VideoPad, even if it sucks. Yeah, VideoPad from NCH Software, whatever. VideoPad. Yeah, I don't recommend it. I do not recommend it. That's the one I use because that's the one I learned. I had my training in that. You think we got a long way to get the Kuro no Kiseki official translations? No, I think they're happening next year, probably. I can almost guarantee that. Because we're getting the ones that were pending this year. We're even getting Nayuta Endless Trails on December, I think. Nobody asked for that game, but we're getting it. And Reverie, originally called in Japan Hajimari no Kiseki. So what's left? There's just nothing left except unless Falcon remasters Trails in the Sky, but it needs to happen in Japan first, right? If they decide to remaster that game, we'll probably get that one first, but I think Kuro no Kiseki is next. Trails-wise, there's nothing left. So yeah, we're getting Kuro no Kiseki next year, I'm pretty sure. Nayuta was fine, and I only put like 2 hours into it. I beat the first boss and I got to a place in the... I remember a waterfall in there, and I couldn't get past that because, I don't know, I lost interest. I didn't think Nayuta was that good of a game, but maybe with the remaster, I'll change my mind. Do you have any figures of video game characters? I have 100 people watching. I'm just gonna answer that and I'll make my review. Okay, so I barely have any figures. If I have, it's because they come with special editions like that plushie in there. I have a Quistis from Final Fantasy VIII figure, a Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. I mean, no. The answer is pretty much no. I barely have them, and I don't really collect them. Alright guys, so today I want to make a review of a game that I'm really fond of. I freaking love this game. It's one of my favorite Vanillaware games, and this is Grim Grimoire, but I'm not reviewing the original PS2 version. A couple of days ago, the remaster was released, a full HD remaster of this game on the PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Well, Windows, right? And it's called Grim Grimoire Once More. In fact, let me put a wallpaper so people can know that I'm reviewing a game right now. I'm gonna put an image in here so you can know what game I'm talking about. I have the PS2 version here anyway. So Grimoire Once More. Damn, that's big. Shit, yeah, cover my fucking face, damn it. There we go. So Grim Grimoire Once More. What the hell is this for those who don't know? This is a real-time strategy game, and it plays a little bit more on the tower defense. It's not 100% a tower defense. You're not just defending one place, you are defending runes, but we'll get to that in a bit. So this remaster is just a remaster with some new additions, some new features like every single remaster out there. It's not just a port. It looks absolutely beautiful. It looked freaking beautiful on the PlayStation 2. It looks even more beautiful on the PlayStation 4 or Switch or whatever. The graphics in the remaster did not disappoint. I haven't noticed any frame rate issues whatsoever. No technical flaws. Nothing, it was a great port. This is a story about a little witch. Her name is Lilith Blan. And she goes in a big-ass dragon to a magical academy. It does feel a little bit on the Harry Potter side, story-wise. Because there's a Philosopher's Stone, because there are teachers that they teach you different magics, like the dark magic, the Hades magic, the you know what I'm talking about. So there's different rooms. But obviously you start with the fairy room. You summon fairies, you summon elves, and you summon all sorts of creatures. So the story in this game is really good. Don't misjudge this game. Do not. I mean, there's a saying, don't judge a book by its cover. And this is a really good story. Really good. It hooks you in right from the start. I mean, you start your training in the tutorial, but then, something weird happens, and all of a sudden you're in a time loop. You went back in time because someone released the super evil mage, Archmage Calvaros, whose goal is to destroy the academy and destroy the world or whatever, right? But then you went back in time before he actually managed to do that. So something's going on in there. There's a lot of intrigue in here, and it just gets interesting. and there's a lot of investigation stuff going on, not gameplay wise, story wise. So it's a really good story. But the point of the game, gameplay wise, is to learn how to use the runes. Either on the PS2 version or on the remaster, nothing's changed, it's the same. So in here you play in these large areas, usually vertical areas or square-ish areas, large, and there's a bunch of stairs and a bunch of pillars and towers in between. So you have to position your rune. Usually in most missions you already start with one rune, but sometimes you have to start from zero and to summon a rune. To summon a rune you need mana, and to summon more creatures like fairies or elves, for example, or demons or phantoms or even giant dragons, you need mana. How do you make mana? Well, first you need to summon the elves or the imps. Every single rune has a small monster whose job is to gather mana from a crystal. Usually crystals are nearby the places where you can position your runes. So you put the rune in there, summon these little monsters, these little creatures, and they start gathering mana from the crystal, okay? And that's when the tower defense gameplay mechanics comes into play, okay? You need to defend these crystals and defend your runes. If a crystal gets destroyed, you can reconstruct it, or the elves or the little creatures can revive it. But if the rune gets destroyed, you need to have enough mana to resummon the same rune. If all of your runes are destroyed, it's game over. Okay, any monsters can die, and you can respawn them forever as long as you have mana. But if your runes are destroyed, it's game over. So that's the point of the game. It's a real-time strategy game because it all happens in real time, like in most tower defense games. So I guess it's more of a tower defense game than a real-time game, but it's a mix of both. It's not an RPG. People think it's an RPG. Some people have said it's an RPG. I don't see it that way. It's a game with RPG elements, that's for sure. But it's a short game. You can beat this game in like 10 to 15 hours. And there's just dialogue and mission. However, in this remaster, they added a skill tree. Because every video game in existence nowadays, RPG or not, needs to have a skill tree, right? So this game is no exception. There didn't used to be a skill tree in the original PS2 game. This skill tree is a new feature of this remaster. And you get coins after every mission, optional or not, because there are some optional missions here where you can train your runes or get money. And with these coins, you upgrade abilities or stats or whatnot. However, most of the stats were originally and automatically unlocked in the original game on the PS2 whenever you upgraded a rune. You could just use mana to upgrade them and you will get automatically get these stats. So this skill tree is a little bit of a lie. They just did the developers just gave the players the illusion that they have a skill tree when it was already there in the original game. Automatically, there was no need for a skill tree. You level up, you use mana to level up the rune, and you get all these stats. But not all of them. Some are exclusive to this remaster. So, okay, maybe the skill tree was not as useless as it probably would have been. So there are new skills, new things you can unlock in this skill tree without that weren't in the original game. That's a new feature. Another new feature that I noticed is that there's a couple of new tracks, some music tracks during the missions that I don't remember from the original game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a couple of new tracks in there. But anyway, and there's supposed to be a new room, but I haven't gotten that far. This game is hard, guys. And like I was saying, you use the runes to summon the little monsters that will gather the mana. Okay? Mana that you're gonna need to summon the creatures, the fighting creatures, the dragons, the ghosts, the phantoms, the demons. I'm personally a big fan of the demons. They are some of the best units in the game that you can use. And the point of the game is not just to defend your runes, it's also to attack the enemies, to attack the enemy runes. You don't have to kill all enemies, because they are runes. The enemy's runes will keep respawning enemies. So you have to find the runes in the darkness. The darkness is always there, the darkness. and you gotta find the enemy runes and destroy them. So usually the battle ends when the enemy runes are destroyed. There are missions where you'll have to endure, like in a tower defense game. You don't have to kill the enemy runes. All you have to do is endure the battle, the onslaught, enemy attacks, multiple constant enemy attacks for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes sometimes, and that's it. But in those missions, if you don't want to wait 20 minutes, and if you have the strategy, the brains, and the skill power to go and find the enemy runes and destroy them before they destroy yours, the mission ends. You don't have to wait 20 minutes. All the enemy runes are destroyed, so what's the point, right? Anyway, it's a fantastic game, guys. This is really, really freaking good. I loved it on the PlayStation 2. I finished the game like 2 or 3 times on the PS2, and I finished every single side mission here. There's like 20 missions, main missions, I think, and there's like 20 side missions, optional missions that you can do with different objectives. You know, they're really fun, and they all have a lot of limitations. Like you only have a limited amount of mana, or defeat the enemy with just these monsters, stuff like that. You know, I love the side missions in this game, and in this remaster did not disappoint. It's the same. So overall, amazing game. It's a freaking masterpiece. I'm gonna call it a masterpiece because I'm a freaking diehard fan of this game. But there's one thing, one thing that I want to bitch about. And that is the fact that, well, it's not really a complaint. There's an easy, normal, hard, and very hard mode, I think. The usual difficulty settings in modern video games. However, the original game had the same difficulties, I think, and I beat the game on normal. Some of the side missions are crazy hard. Some of them I beat them on easy. But the entire main adventure on the PlayStation 2, I always beaten it in normal mode. In this remaster, I may be a little bit rusty, but I don't think so, because I've played this game multiple times. But I found the remaster harder, and some enemies, some creatures like the dragon, for example, the game requires more mana. They're asking for more mana than before. I think it was like 600 crystals in the original game. Now it's 800 to summon a dragon. I could be wrong though, but overall I felt the remaster harder than the original. I don't know why that is. There's still an easy mode. I refuse to play the easy mode in this freaking game. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna stick to normal until I finish it. But yeah, just a heads up. And coming from a guy who's beaten the original game multiple times, this remaster is harder. And I'm pretty sure that's a good thing for a lot of you. Since you guys are obsessed with hard games or playing everything on hard nowadays. I don't know why. But anyway, Green Grimoire, amazing game. Play this remaster. I think it came out on physical. And if it didn't, it's just there on digital and it's worth playing. It's an amazing game with RPG elements. I've covered before the PlayStation 2 version in my main channel, actually. And if you see this game, be it the PS2 version or the remaster, give it a try. Strongly recommend it. And that's it, guys. I see that I've lost like 20 people. People who don't give a shit about Green Grimoire, because it's not a JRPG. Jesus Christ. Anyway. I remember Kiss. Are you still there, man? Kiss. Someone saying any advice to a novice YouTuber. What I'm about to say is connected to that. So, I remember my buddy Kiss asked some time ago what was the hardest thing about being a YouTuber or making videos. And I didn't mention one thing. It's the labels people put on you. The expectations they put on you. I forgot to say that, because it's a pain in the ass. I mean, I can't believe 20 people left just because I was reviewing a game that is not a JRPG. I mean, I know this channel is focused on JRPGs, but I just fucking hate sometimes how close-minded people are, that if I'm not talking about a JRPG, they leave. Or they turn the video off. I mean, that's kind of sad, but there are a lot of people who play nothing but JRPGs, and I respect that. And they're not gonna be interested in anything at all that's not an RPG. But yeah, the expectations. My advice for a novice YouTuber: watch out for the expectations. If you create a label like me, you're gonna be stuck with that label probably forever, and it's gonna be a huge pain in the ass to get out of that label. If you start making videos about different video games and all that jazz, that's cool. But the moment you start covering something else, or even if it's video game related or not, people are just gonna leave, and your videos will probably not be as successful, or you're gonna lose interest from people, right? So that's one of the hardest things about being a YouTuber, especially if you're doing this for a living. Because when you're small, you barely get any views no matter what you do. You start with what you have. I think you have the luxury to try to experiment as much as you can. And I recommend that for a novice YouTuber. Just try different things out and see what works and what doesn't. Whatever works, keep doing it. Whatever doesn't work, stop doing it. Unless you're capricious or whimsical like me, I still do it no matter what. My video about JRPG commercials was a failure, but I still really wanted to do it. I was like, man, this video, it's just gonna fail. Nobody gives a shit about JRPG commercials. And I still wanted to do it. So if you're like me, then okay, be like me. But yeah, I think the best thing to do is whatever works for you, keep doing it. Whatever doesn't work, stop doing it. And unfortunately, by doing that, you're gonna eventually you'll create a label. And if you've covered a lot of platformers or side scrollers, and all of a sudden you want to talk about a first-person shooter, yeah, don't expect any success. It might succeed, but chances are it's probably not gonna be. Or do the smart thing like I do. Sneak in games like this in your top 10s or in your videos. In your successful videos. It works. I did it with Little Witch Novetta on my most super obscure RPG gems 2 days ago, and the video was very successful. Yeah, you gotta use your brain, man. Yeah, well, the expectations from people, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of fucking pressure to know that you want to talk about something or want to cover something, you want to do your damn job, and people just don't give a shit, and they keep leaving. God damn it. Alright, back to the JRPG talk. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, the JRPG commercials video was funny. They're very cringy. And I didn't post some of them because, ironically, they had copyright. There was one for Dragon Quest VII that was really, really like, what the hell? What the hell? And it's in Spanish. From the Spain Spanish, and I translated the clip, and I got a copyright claim for that trailer from Square fucking Enix. So of course I had to remove that. So yeah, there was another one from Fire Emblem. Oh man, that was horrible. It's a girl like in the below a bridge in a really dangerous area. She shouldn't be there playing with her freaking Game Boy Advance. She's in the middle of nowhere in a freaking dark alley, and they put this really, really cheesy 90s romantic song from Japan. And it's like, what? And she's playing the Blazing Blade, I think, on the Game Boy Advance, and it's like, what? What's going on in there? And I had to remove that because the song had copyright. Oh man, oh well. It's okay, it was a random video. Sometimes, that's another advice for a novice YouTuber, but not really an advice, it's just something that I do. Sometimes it's good to make random videos like that. Even if they fail, some people are gonna watch them, and you're still gonna make a little bit of money. But it's the fun factor of getting out of your usual routine. That video was a blast to do because, I didn't have to write a long script, didn't have to explain games or cover them, so I got out from there. Took me out of my comfort zone. I think it's important to do stuff like that. Will you compare Grim Grimoire to that of Bloons Tower Defense? I've never heard of Bloons Tower Defense. I can compare this game. If you compare Grim Grimoire to the game that I'm about to mention, you'll probably be like, what? But in reality, pay attention to the gameplay mechanics, and they're very similar. And that's Plants vs. Zombies. Plants vs. Zombies is a notably successful tower defense game. You gotta defend your garden. If one zombie gets in, it's game over, right? You're doing the same here. I mean, all tower defense games have the same structure. Defending something. So there you go. You're supposed to get a license to use ads. Not if you create the ad on your own. Like Square Enix. This Dragon Quest VII commercial was a Square Enix. They did everything, so they own the commercial. So if you use it without their permission, it's weird because I also used other commercials from Square Enix and nothing happened. Just for that one from Dragon Quest VII. Weird, huh? What are you guys going on? Are you still talking about Trails to Azure? You have to play Zero first, or you basically have to play Trails in the Sky first. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to play Trails in the Sky, that's okay. You can start with Trails from Zero, but be warned that you're gonna get huge spoilers from Trails in the Sky. If you're okay with that, start the Trails series with Trails from Zero. But yeah, don't start with Azure. Don't do that. Azure is like, it's the same game. It's like part 2. I hate Final Fantasy VII. And probably all Final Fantasy games. Oh man. Between Zero and Azure, which one do you think is better? It's kind of hard because I really like Zero and Azure. Both games take a while to... I mean, every Trails game is the same. They take a long ass time to really pick up. To reach that point where you're like, oh my god, I'm loving this, I can't stop playing it. Every single Trails game. I think the one that starts faster than the others, that kind of hooks you up from the start, is Trails of Cold Steel 2. But yeah, they're all the same. Eventually they get to a point where you're doing stuff that are like, man. But yeah, Azure versus Zero, that's a tough question. It's like comparing Dot Hack Volume 1 with Volume 2. I mean, you gotta understand that to me it's the same game. But if I had to pick one, I would pick Azure. Because the second half of the game, the first half is like, it's slowly building up the tension. Slowly. And then the second half is bonkers. Several shit happens, and man, that's when you get to the point where you can't stop playing the game. Where you're like 5 hours a day playing until you finish it. So Azure, I think Azure is probably the best one. No. Comparing Final Fantasy X, exactly. Thank you for realizing your mistake, Kevin. No. Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X 2, and they're very different games, by the way. So what about my logistics? What goes on in the logistics when making your videos? I think I've explained this before. You asked something similar last time, and I have the same answer. Like, you need to consider... I'm not gonna tell you my tricks. I do have a couple of a secret formula that I can't share, that I'm not gonna share. It's because it's my way of doing things. So that's the one part of the logistics that is secret. But the other part is what I already explained before, that you need to consider things like, man, it's too soon for this video, or man, I'm not gonna include a lot of games in this new top 10 that I've covered recently, or stuff like that. You need the decision making. You need to be like, man, this is a game. I mean, this is a video that is not gonna. I mean, right now it's gonna fail, or it's just gonna get in the way for this other video, or it's gonna create a lot of competition for the previous video. Stuff like that. That's what goes on in the logistics, or the planning stuff. And the logistics also include the editing style, what to say in the script, how to put the games in order and what order you want to put them on and stuff like that. The logistics are the hardest part. How's the gaming community in Mexico? Do you have a lot of friends that you play with in person? The first question, the gaming community in Mexico is just as strong as anybody else nowadays, anywhere else nowadays. I mean, it's very strong. A lot of people play video games. Sure, it's Mexico. There's a bigger level of ignorance in the game industry. I mean, in the US, maybe something like Persona is popular, but in Mexico it's not that popular. I mean, people do prefer... I mean, they know Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Plants vs. Zombies, but you mentioned this and they don't know what the hell you're talking about. But this is also a game that most people don't know what the hell I'm talking about in many... no matter the country. But it's strong. I mean, there's a lot of gaming passion in this country, a lot. It's grown considerably in the past 10 years. Because 10 years ago, back in the beginning of the 2010s, there was some interest, but it was all on the mainstream interest. When I had the store, most obscure stuff just wouldn't sell. And stuff that is crazy expensive nowadays, it was a bitch to sell those games back then, Nobody wanted them, nobody knew them. Maybe just one collector or two knew them and bought them, But there was a lot of interest in the mainstream stuff back then. But it was growing. I'd say the gaming industry in Mexico has been strong since forever. But it got way stronger in the past 10 years. Very, very strong. So yeah. And to answer your second question, unfortunately I do not have anybody to play in person with. I used to hang out with my buddy Oscar, but he started getting very busy and difficult to hang out with. And to make matters even worse, because when I came back from Canada, I used to live nearby. And now I live kind of far from where he lives. So, unfortunately, no, I don't have any... I mean, I have some gamer friends, but they live far away, all of them. Or some of them live in other cities or other countries. So, I have no one to play in person with anymore. Sadly. And I miss that. Because some of these friends are like, hey, maybe we should play online. Pay the Switch Online or the PS Plus on the PlayStation 4. And I'm like, man, it's just not the same. I don't know about you guys, but gaming online is not the same. I mean, you don't have that personal interaction with that someone. You don't get the same reactions. You're playing and you don't even know if the people you're playing with online are reacting or what the hell are they doing, or maybe they're distracted, or... I mean, there's that conversation in person is just not there. And I think that's what makes gaming in person with somebody else, that's the magical thing about it. But playing online, I see nothing magical about it, it's just boring, in my opinion, for me personally. And I don't know. I know since COVID-19 started, that was most people's only choice. And maybe you can play with a friend by using Zoom. I don't know, on your phone, you can be looking at each other and talking with each other while you guys play online. That's a good idea. But it's just not the same. I really miss, playing with someone else frequently. I need a wife. I need a girlfriend. In other words, I need a girlfriend that likes video games, of course. Oh man, that was so fucking pathetic. Oh man. Hey, this music is from Batenkaitos, isn't it? Hey, what's up with those donations, guys? What's going on? That's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. No money today. There's a saying in Mexico. I mean, there's gotta be this saying has to exist in other countries, probably. It's it's not gonna make any sense, but it makes sense in Mexico. It's like the saying goes like this: with money, the dog dances. Stupid, sounds stupid in English, but in Spanish it makes sense. And anybody understands that. Anybody knows what what that means here in Mexico. You want the dog to... I mean, is there like a counterpart in this? Is there an English version of this saying? Something similar? I mean, if you want the dog to dance... Dogs don't even dance! They don't fucking dance! But that's the saying. That's how the saying goes in Mexico. Anyway, have you played Cat Quest? Speaking about animals. No, I haven't. Are they any good? I mean, they sound like... I mean, Cat Quest? That's the most generic name I've seen. And I know they're kind of like RPGs, right? Who would have thought there's an RPG, an indie RPG called Cat Quest? But I guess... I don't know, I haven't played it. Games that you regretted selling the most? Oh man, my Art on Helico 1 and 2 and Mana Khemia 1 and 2. I own the special editions of all 4. And they... Back then I paid like... I remember I paid like... Oh, there you go! Thank you, Matthew! That's all I need to do to keep going. Thanks a bunch, man. I paid 50... No. That was a long time ago. That was like almost 10 years ago. Probably less. 8 years ago or so. Let's just say that I paid $100 for all 4 of them. The limited editions of Mana Khemia 1, Mana Khemia 2, Art on Helico 1, Art on Helico 2. And I sold them like a fucking idiot for like $150. I made a $50 profit. But that's how much they go for nowadays. Each of those special editions goes for like $150 nowadays. Fuck me, man. That's immediate. I mean, when you ask that question, that was the first that came to my mind because that's the one I regret the most. The second one is my Persona 2, Innocent Sin special edition on the PSP. It just has the game and the soundtrack, I think. I don't even remember if there was an art book. I don't think it's just the game and the soundtrack in a cardboard box. But it goes for like 200 and something nowadays, and I sold it to Oscar for like $25. Yeah. I finished Memories of Celceta today, and I really liked it. Thanks for introducing the series for me. No problem, I think the E-series is amazing, needs more love. It's the godfather of action RPGs. And it's not even nowhere near as popular as Tales, or the new Final Fantasy games, or hack and slash, or stuff like that, man. Yeah, and Ys needs more love. Needs to be like 100% mainstream, so Falcom can get more money and improve their graphical engine, because they've been using the what's it called? The graphic engine they use, the Fire engine, I think, since forever. So you're welcome, buddy. More like I should be, but I don't work for Falcom, but Falcom says thank you, I'm pretty sure, for enjoying Memories of Celceta and getting into the series. Which version did you finish? The PS Vita or the remaster? The freaking remaster went up in price. Let me look it up on Amazon. I own the PS Vita version. Memories. Is Memories of Celceta PS4, because it didn't come out on Switch. It's not even available on Amazon Mexico. Not even there, man. Well, Lacrimosa is there in case you guys are interested. For 665 Mexican pesos, that's like $33. In case you're interested, those are $33 very well spent, man. In Mexico, I don't know how much it goes for in the US. The PS4 version used to be super cheap. I think I remember seeing Memories of Celceta for like $25. I didn't get it. I should have gotten it. I didn't get it because I already own the PS Vita version. I'm fine with that version. But yeah, I should have gotten it. It's kind of expensive nowadays. Thank you, Hong Luong. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. Cat Quest is decent. No money, no honey. Are you from Morocco? Oh, okay. That's the Morocco saying of the Mexican saying. No money, no honey. There you go. No money, no honey. Let's ask price charting how much Memories of Celceta. God damn it! Price charting. All right, everybody, let's take a look. Is Memories of Celceta. Price starting. And PlayStation 4 version. It's the Adventure Edition. It says here that it goes for like... Oh, I see what's going on. So the PAL version says 24, complete in box. But the North American release, there's only the Timeless Adventurer Edition, $43. Fuck. $43, like that's like 850 Mexican pesos. How's the gaming? I think a lot of people will be curious to know how is the gaming scene in Africa, in places like Morocco, for example. How is it? Do you think Memories of Celceta gets too much hate? Really? Most people don't seem to like it very much? I don't know. You gotta understand, I don't watch JRPG content on YouTube. What little I know about the reputation of some certain games is because back then, years ago, I used to watch, or that something that I read online on forums or places like that. So I didn't know Celceta got a lot of hate, had a lot of hate. What do you guys think about? Wait, what? I missed. If I miss your questions, feel free to repost them. Buy every RPG in existence, Erick. You're a millionaire, aren't you? I wish I was, man. If I was a millionaire, I would have bought a badass house, and I would already have a freaking amazing, badass looking studio. Do you see that here? It's rated pretty low on East tier lists and just in discussion on general. Well, I didn't know that. In my list, I ranked it pretty high. I think it was like before East 9 came out. It used to be my number 2. Would you recommend modern Final Fantasy games to a person that only likes turn-based RPG games? No. Plain and simple, no. Stick to the older Final Fantasy games. Play anything from Final Fantasy X and below that. Can I just jump in any East games and enjoy it without knowledge of the prior entries? Sure. I mean, if you need details, I made a video called How to Get into the East series, where to start in the series. Check it out if you want to. Just type Erick Landon East, and I'm sure the video will be there. I also have one ranked from worst to best. But the East series, every single one of them is connected, but it's always a different adventure with different characters. And I think you can start with any of them. Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's some kind of anthology. None of them are direct sequels to one another. I mean, you don't have to play the previous one to understand everything. You do have to start in chronological order if you want to fully 100% obsessively understand everything. Start with Origin. That's the prequel of the entire series. But you're fine, man. Pick any of the games. But some are way harder than others, and a lot of them don't have party members. You only play as adult Kristen. You should watch my video. Is where to start, Erick Landon. Type it on YouTube, you'll see it there. And there you go. What's your favorite RPG animated intro cinematic? I've never been asked that before. I usually don't watch intros because they all have a fucking Idol song and it's just fucking horrible, in my opinion. Well, it's not really my opinion, it's just I don't like Idol music. I like it if it's instrumental, maybe, but when they start singing, they always sound like little girls and like, I don't like it. Or most of the songs are really fucking cheesy, so I usually skip intros. But we go back to the I mean, you already know I'm gonna pick Chrono Cross. I love the music in there. There's no singing. There's just singing in the ending song. I love the ending theme, by the way, Idol or not. And the opening cinematic that I love the most is definitely the one from Chrono Cross. I mean, it's just... I love it, man. Why do JRPG intros often contain spoilers? Some of them, yeah. That's another reason why I skip them. Because then you get to see all the cast, what they do, and the final boss even sometimes, and I'm like, man, what the hell? What the hell? I'm getting spoiled here, bro! So that's another reason why I always skip intros, especially nowadays. Because most of them have spoilers. Most of them don't have like major spoilers, but they all have spoilers, you know. I kind of want to get that feeling of surprise whenever I meet a character. Like, I don't want to know how my party members look like unless I take a good look at them in the cover. You know, but I want to know who... I don't know, I don't want to know anything. Just want to go in blind. I haven't played Chained Echoes yet. My problem with Baby Metal, the band, is that they don't like metal music. They aren't true metalheads. That's just the band someone created just for the sake of singing metal. And I don't give a shit if the band is any good. I mean, someone who doesn't really grow up with metal music, and is not really a fan of metal music, singing metal kind of sounds like off. So yeah, I'm kind of against Baby Metal. I think it's a hypocritical band. A fake band. And this is coming from the horse's mouth. I watched an interview where the girls from Baby Metal said that they didn't know anything about metal music. So there you go. I don't want to listen to someone like that. Have you ever been to Los Angeles? Nope, I've never even been to the US at all. I've been to Canada, to England, to Germany, and obviously to Mexico, and that's it. Did you see the Old Felgana is getting a remaster on Switch in Japan? Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the that remaster anytime soon. Is it out yet? I don't know if it's out, the remaster in Japan. It's not out in North America. I hope we get that remaster. Just curious, do you watch UFC? Is that... No, I don't like those kinds of... I don't like any sports. I don't even watch soccer, man. I don't watch sports at all. Are you hyped for the Suikoden remasters? I am. I want to see what Konami is going to do this time to save their fucking asses. I mean, they released the Castlevania collection, then the Contra collection and whatnot, and a bunch of other stuff, and it's being well received. The collections. It's like the emulation is decent, I think. So I want to see what Konami is going to do with these Suikoden remasters. They need to be really freaking good. Because nobody likes Konami. So it's gonna take them a long time of doing good things and decent things to regain people's trust. EA, on the other hand, that's a horrible company. They were gonna do a sequel to Alice Madness Returns, and now it's being cancelled because fuck you, EA, because fuck those guys. It's out on the 26th of this month. In Japan, or is it worldwide? Or is that the date for Japan only? Have you seen the Persona 3 remake footage? No, somebody was saying earlier that there are rumors and that there's a leak. I don't know if this new footage is real. Japan only, sadly. Yeah, we'll probably get the remaster sooner or later because NIS America takes forever. They put a lot on their plates for no reason. It's like they want to localize every single video game in existence. Come on, NIS America, you can't do that. Give the localization to someone else. So yeah, that means the Old Felgana will probably be localized somewhere around this year or next one, maybe. Any new info for Eiyuden Chronicle? No, I don't think so. I don't think at least not that I know. I don't think there's a release date yet. Have you played Record of Agarest War? Yes, I have. I played all three of them. The first one is pretty good. I haven't played the remaster. It was remastered recently, and yes, the remaster did come to the US and North America and Europe too, I think. And the other two games are kind of mediocre. The second one is okay, but it gets old really quickly. And then there's Zero. And Zero, I don't know, man. Didn't like it. Are you watching any shows currently? Yeah, I started last night this animated show. Oh, thank you, man. I want to make a rant about a certain anime series. But anyway, I started watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners. It's Edge Runners on Netflix. I'm only 2 episodes in, and it's okay. I mean, it's a Polish Japanese anime. A lot of Polish guys involved. I don't know, even though it's not being made by Americans, it feels kind of Americanized. A little bit to me, so I don't know. I'm enjoying it, but nah. I've also been watching Mayor of Kingstown. It's pretty good. Your Honor. Your Honor is okay. Bryan Cranston makes it worth it, but the rest of the cast and the acting is kind of like, holy shit, man. Couldn't they have gotten better actors? Well, Michael Stolberg is in there. He's pretty good. But I don't think his character is that interesting. I don't know. It's... But anyway. Yes, I'm a big fucking fan of Higurashi no Naku Koroni. Higurashi When They Cry. That's in my top 10 favorite anime series of all time, man. Anyway, I want to talk about an anime now. An anime that I think it's overrated. A long time ago, many years ago, probably 12 years ago, a friend of mine recommended a Monster to me. The classic, one of the best anime series of all time, very well respected. It's held in such a high regard, and I was like, man, okay. So, you guys need to listen to this. The Green Grimoire image was there all along. You guys didn't tell me. This is from Sea of Stars, the boss battle theme. Anyway, so Monster. So a long time ago, probably 12, 13 years ago, somebody recommended that anime to me. And I was like, okay, so I like dark animes, serious, mature stuff. So I watched it. Monster. And I started watching. I remember back then I watched like 5 episodes and I got bored. And I ditched it. I was like, fuck. I'm not liking this. It's boring. So about a month ago, I decided to go back to it. I saw it on, I think it was on Netflix, yeah. And I was like, I think it's about fucking time I gave this series another chance, a second chance. And I started from scratch from the first episode, and I enjoyed it this time. I got into it, and the series advanced more and more and more, and it just hooked me, I was like, man, this is really good. My problem with Monster was still that it had a lot of filler episodes, a lot of parts that are like, man, what the hell is this? I mean, I like the fact that almost every single filler stuff or side story on the game, on the anime, is connected somehow to the main plot. I like that. That was clever. And I read that the anime is like really, really faithful to the manga. Really faithful. And that's great, right? I mean, don't we all hate it when series are very different from the manga? Or movies are very different from the book? We hate that, right? I hate that too. So this is very faithful to the manga series. So my praise goes to the writer, the author. Man, what an amazing story. So all along, you got intrigued. But the entire anime, small spoilers alert. The entire anime, the goal of the anime is that the protagonist, Dr. Tenma, he is chasing Johan, this sociopath killer, genocidal killer, and he wants to put a stop to him because at the beginning of the anime, he saves his life. He's a doctor and he saves his life. right? So he regrets that because saving his life, saving this little kid's life, ruined the doctor's life. So and now he's like consumed with guilt. I saved the life of someone who's taking way more lives, a la Hitler, right? And there's a lot of stuff about Hitler in that anime, about the Germany from the mid-90s, about the fall of the wall. So there's a lot of historical stuff in there. It's really interesting. But it's kind of a slow burn, sometimes it hooks you up and then it's like goes down into something different. It changes the subject or it starts focusing on other characters, and then every now and then there's a new character introduced. So you kind of start losing interest and then it hooks you right back over and over and over again. So when you're near the end of the anime, you're like, man, what an amazing anime. This is awesome. And then near the end, it's finally happening. It's finally gonna happen. Oh yeah. And it's got the worst fucking ending you'll see in your life. 74 episodes, man. 74 episodes of thrilling, of excitement, of intrigue. I mean, you relate to these characters. You want everything to end. And then it ends. It's fucking terrible. It was all for fucking nothing. As you can see, I'm pretty pissed off. I finished watching the anime a couple of days ago. And I can't believe the impact it left on me. Enough for me to get this heated. This pissed off. I can't fucking believe it. Man, I was ready to come here and say, count me in. Monster is a masterpiece. It deserves every single drop of praise it deserves. But no, that fucking ending ruined everything. And that's the ending of the manga. It's not just the ending of the anime. The manga also ends like that. It's fucking garbage. How can you fucking do that to your viewers? They betray you, man. They give you the worst fucking possible, most pathetic, cringe-worthy scene you can imagine. Why? What the hell? Is this one of the best anime series of all time? This ending ruins the whole series. It made watching the whole series worthless. That's my rant. I'm not gonna spoil the ending. If you want to watch it. Be prepared for one of the worst endings in anime series I've seen in my life. It's just fucking ridiculous. Like, wow. That's the ending. I think the manga writer, the author, had no fucking clue what he wanted to do with his story or how he wanted to end it. I don't know. This is one of the most disappointing anime series of all time, in my opinion. I don't care how much praise it gets. The journey is amazing. If we focus on the journey, that's amazing. That's great. But the ending ruins the whole journey. Because we've seen games, RPGs, anime series where the journey is amazing and the ending is like, okay, it's a dumb ending, but I mean, you still have the journey. But here, all the journey was to slowly build up everything for that moment at the end, and they fucking ruined it. So they ruined the whole journey. It's not even worth watching this series, guys. Don't waste your fucking time. It's because eventually you're gonna get to that ending and you'll feel like me. Like, what the fuck? I mean, fuck you assholes. The creators of this anime, what? Have you guys seen, I don't know, The Blacklist? It's not an anime show, but The Blacklist. Or Dexter. How about Dexter? I mean, it's like that. It's that level of bullshit at the end. Like, what the hell? Of all the worst things, I mean, of all the worst possible endings they could have picked, they chose the absolute worst outcome. The most pathetic ending you can imagine. That's Monster. Dexter is the same. It's like at the end you're like, what? The Blacklist? And it's still going. I'm talking about the ending of Season 8 in The Blacklist. There's a Season 9. And I'm not even gonna bother. Because the ending in Season 9, that was it for me. That was the ending of the show. They have no plot anymore. Anyway, guys. Sorry I missed a few donations. Sorry about that, guys. I needed to get that out of my system. Monster, one of the most disappointing anime series of all fucking time. That Raging Lombax, thanks a bunch for the donation. He asks, have you watched the God Eater anime? That, on the other hand, it's a fantastic anime series. It's even better than the games. That's a great anime. It's based on the first game. It's an anime based on the first game, Godzilla Burst, released on the PSP, later remade on PS Vita and PS4. That's a great version. Original version on PSP is not that good. But anyway, yeah, the anime is really freaking good. CB Ross, thanks a bunch, man. Thanks a lot, dude. Monster Rancher or Monster Hunter? Well, you gotta understand, they are very different. They're very different, you know. Monster Hunter is about, you know, training or grinding and then kill the big monster and that's it. They're very repetitive. Monster Rancher is about training your monsters and whatnot. Man, it's like comparing Pokemon to God Eater. I don't know. I prefer neither. Unfortunately, I'm no fan of Monster Rancher, nor am I a fan of Monster Hunter. Have you ever watched Ergo Proxy? Seriously? Seriously, dude? That's my #1 favorite anime series of all time. I love it with a passion. Have you ever seen Gurren Lagann? I think I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. You wanna watch amazing anime, Ninja Scroll? I kinda know that. Vampire Hunter D, I think I watched it. Betrayal, Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue, I haven't watched it, but I really wanna watch it. I've seen Bible Black. I've never seen Bible Black, but I've seen some scenes. And damn. Black Lagoon, amazing anime. I'm so devastated it never continued, never went on. It got cancelled for some reason. Black Lagoon, man. Damn. Thank you, Jason Hubbard. Ever played the Summoner Knights games? Summoner Knight? Are you referring to Summon Knight? Summon Knight, I've played a bunch. I've played Soulcraft Story 1 and 2 on the Game Boy Advance, and then there's 5 on the PSP, and then 6 on the Vita and PS4. They're all good games. My favorite is probably Soulcraft Story, the first one on the Game Boy Advance. It's such a charming game with amazing soundtrack. I love the soundtrack in that game. I beat it in 10 hours or 11 hours, I think. It's a great game. The second one was... People say it's better, but I kind of disagree. I kind of lost interest like 3 hours into it. Summon Night 5, I never beat it, but I got far into it. Summon Night 6, I did beat it. But these are strategy RPGs now, and they're pretty good. Pretty solid, but let's face it, not a single Summon Night game is like, wow. Strongly recommended. Maybe just Soulcraft Story. Because 5 and 6 they can get boring at parts because they have a lot of visual novel stuff. And honestly, the dialogue and the story isn't that interesting in those games, so yeah. And the battle mechanics, they're simple, they're kind of easy. They're good games. I think 6 is great, you know, but yeah. It's a good series. Claymore is my second favorite anime series of all time. Big fan of Claymore. In fact, I want to get a freaking painting of it and hang it on the wall. Same with Ergo Proxy. What are your thoughts on the Persona 3 remake? I need confirmation from Atlus. For now, they're just rumors, leaks, whatever you want to call it. It's probably true, but I kind of need Atlus to confirm it first. Or else it's just speculation, but I do hope the remake is true, and I do hope it happens. And I don't think Persona 3 ever needed a remake, but I mean, okay, we're getting it. Cool. Did you ever play Child of Light? Yes, I did. I never finished it. I thought it was pretty good. Do you think Final Fantasy IX remake will happen? I don't know. I don't want it to happen because they're going to turn the game into hack and slash. And I don't want that. But if it does, I mean, whatever. Not interested. Technolize is one of my favorite anime too, man. Technolize and that song, that freaking song, man. Technolize. Fantastic anime. That's probably my top 10 too. Technolize. Psycho Pass, before you guys ask. I fucking love Psycho Pass. The first 2 seasons, The third season, they introduced these new characters, these male detectives. That, I mean, what the... And it was so fucking boring. But the first 2 seasons of Psycho-Pass, one of my favorite anime series of all time. I love Berserk. Even the 3D third season, I don't give a fuck. I love it. I love Berserk. Yeah, I love Rose and Maiden. Believe it or not, I'm a die-hard fan of Rose and Maiden. What else is there on my top? Higurashi no Nakokono ni, we just mentioned that. Ajin, we still haven't gotten a third season. They sure are taking their sweet ass time, man. For Ajin, the first 2 seasons so far have been amazing. One of my favorite anime series too. Technolize. There's a lot, man. I've watched too many. I'm really loving the Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga, man. Amazing anime. Attack on Titan, I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love it. Attack on Titan. I think it's kind of overrated, but I fucking love it. High Score Girl, I'm devastated to know that it's been done. Because the manga ends... Well, the anime ends... How do I explain this? Without spoiling, let's just say that the manga jumps in time. There's a time jump. And man, I don't know if they're gonna do that. If they're gonna make an anime based on that time jump. But god damn it, man. I mean... But High Score Girl, I love that. Ghost in the Shell, pretty good. Darker Than Black. Only the first season. The first season of Darker Than Black. I never watched the second season. Yeah, Vinland Saga, man, that's really good. But this new season they've been releasing on Netflix. I mean, the first season is gold, freaking gold. But then the second season is kind of like a slow burn. I mean, slowly building to something really intense that's about to happen. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's still good. Evangelion is kind of overrated. I think I watched like 10 episodes and I was like, man, I just don't see anything special here. Sorry. What other anime did you guys mention? Cowboy Bebop, that's a great anime. I agree. It's not one of my favorites, but I like it. Steins Gate. Yeah, that's a great anime too. Also not in my top 10, I think, but Steins Gate, that's a great anime. Really like it too. Hellsinker, never heard of it. I know Hellsing. It's good. It's kind of overrated. Hellsing is that one anime where the OVAs are better than the anime itself. Code Geass, that's a great one too, including the movie. Great anime. Kaiji, never heard of it. Samurai Champloo, I know it, but I've never watched it. Hoseki no Kuni, nope. Perfect Blue, I haven't watched it. I want to. Devilman Crybaby, that's an amazing anime. Amazing anime, Devilman Crybaby. Demon Slayer, I've been hearing a lot of great things about it. I'll probably give it a chance. Black Cat. Black Cat is okay. It's good, has some good stuff. That's a really old anime. Kakegurui, that's a great one too. The ones about the cards, right? That one has great animation, like AAA animation. Beautiful anime, Kakegurui. It's good. It's about the card game, right? That's a good one. I got into Evangelion later in life, watched it and struggled to get through it. Thought that the main character was the worst I've ever watched. I know it's a godfathered anime, but man. Yeah, I didn't like it either. It was kind of like, it's okay. Full Metal Alchemist, that's a classic. I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. Also not in my top 10, but I love it. I'm a fan of Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, anime Dragon Quest. I didn't watch Dai, but I watched the original Dragon Quest Fly. Oh man, nostalgia. What game are you planning to get this month? Not a single one. I already got the one that I wanted, which is Fairy Fencer 2. I got a review code. And that's it. April, that's it. The Raging Lombax. Yeah, I just talked about it, man. I answered your question. You probably weren't listening, or you left and came back. Yes, I watched the God Eater anime, and I think it's an amazing anime. Better than the games. Great anime. Slayers, I never watched it. I know the anime, of course, I never watched it. Soul Eater, I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, no. Nope. Made in Abyss? No, I know there's an RPG based on it, on the PS4, and I kind of want to get it. Because about a little kids, it's one of those anime series with like cute animation and a lot of gore and blood. I want to watch it. I want to play the game, the RPG. Fire Force, never watched it. There's an anime based on Persona. Not in any of the games, but in the series itself. It's okay, it's good, I liked it. Violet Evergarden, I think that's one of my top 10. I love it. It's cheesy as hell, but I don't care. I fucking love Violet Evergarden. I watch everything, the anime, the movies, the OVAs, everything. I love Violet Evergarden. I love her, man. She's my crush. She's my waifu, my anime crush. How can you not love... man... I love her. Persona Trinity Souls, that's the anime? Okay. I didn't bother with the Persona 4 anime or 5. I mean, it's like, or the Nier Automata anime. I'm watching the same as in the games. What's the point? I'd rather play the games. Oh My Goddess, I watched a couple of episodes and they were funny, but I never went back to it. Chainsaw Man, I really want to watch it, and I just can't. I like Parasite. I love Parasite. Amazing anime. Gintama, I don't think I know the anime. I've heard it. Rising of the Shield Hero. I think I know it, but I haven't watched it. What about the Trails anime? Well, it's still going, right? And I haven't watched it. I only watched the first episode. Assassination Classroom, it's good, with the octopus alien-like creature as a teacher, right? And the guy that looks like he's a guy, he's a girl the entire game, and he turns out to be a guy. It's a good anime, but I'm not the biggest fan. The Nier Automata anime might have a different ending. Should I bother with it? Maybe I will, because I'm a big Nier fan. Redo of a Healer, never heard of it. What's your opinion on the new upcoming game Crystar? Huh? Crystar isn't new? It's been out for like 3 years, man. I played it on the PS4, and last year they ported that game to the Switch. I beat the PS4 game, and I think it's a really good game. But it's not an upcoming game. Your Lie in April. I didn't watch it, I know it's there, but no. Yakusoku on No Neverland. Never watched it. Don't watch Redo of Healer, okay? Kiss Him, Not Me, never heard of it. Cry Machina. Oh yeah! Yeah, Cry Machina, I watched the trailer a couple of days ago, actually. Yeah, it looks really interesting. I wanna play it. Who's publishing that game? Because I wanna ask for a review code. I didn't play Monochrome Mobius. I'm a diehard Uta Warerumono fan, but I wanna wait for console release in the US, or I mean North America, or European at least. I need a console release in English for Monochrome Mobius. I'm not gonna play it on Steam. Did you watch the anime related to the Dot Hack series? Yes, both of them. Watch the one, it's called Sign. No, there's 3. I watched 3 of them. Sign, the Dot Hack GU anime, which is great. Roots, and then there's Liminality. 4 episodes, and each episode was released with every PS2 game. Infection, Mutation, and that's the best one. Liminality is the best one, even though it's only like 4 episodes. Oh, I didn't know that! Cry Machina is supposed to be a sequel to Crystar? Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I watched the trailer, but I didn't see anything of Crystar in there. Alright, it's Miss America. I'll probably get a review code. Wild Arms anime. I watched it. It's good. Do you still think that Resident Evil remakes are uninteresting? Yes, I do. It's not that they are uninteresting. It's that I just don't have a lot of interest in playing them. I know there's been like 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they ever going to remake Code Veronica? But I just don't like the shoulder control third-person shooter mechanic. I don't like that. Can you tell me what is your opinion on the game Too Dark? Never heard of it. Make an anime of Rhapsody, a musical adventure. Fuck it, I'll watch it too. Last questions, guys. Just a few more questions and I'm out of here. Thank you so much for the donations, by the way. Have you ever played Fatal Frame? Yes, I did. I wasn't a fan. I tried. I've never played the first one. I played, started with Fatal Frame 3. 20 years ago, I think, or probably 15 years ago. And hard as I tried, and back then I was a die-hard survival horror fan, I just couldn't get into it. And then some years later I played Crimson Butterfly, I think it's called, on the PlayStation 2, the second one. That was amazing, but I never beat it. And then the last Fatal Frame that I played was, is it Fatal Frame 5? I think it's the one that came out originally on the Wii U. And I got a review code for that one. And I streamed it on my second channel. And I really liked it, but I never went back to it. I just don't like fighting in first person. And in those games you fight in first person on your camera. I don't know, man. So, in the end, I'm not a fan of Fatal Frame. After playing 3 games and giving up on them, I can say, yes, this is worth getting. I just did a review. You missed it about an hour ago. I made a full review on the remaster once more. And it is very worth getting. Very worth it. Have you seen JoJo? Yes, I watched like 5 or 6 episodes and I thought it was overrated. I was like, man, no. First of the North Star, I know the games. I've played some of them, but I've never watched the anime. And I didn't care about the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I just don't care, man. Every fucking movie based on a video game that Hollywood makes is garbage. Maiden of Blackwater. Thanks. That's the last Fatal Frame that I played. I got codes from Miss America because I'm a YouTuber, man. Because I cover their games, I review them. Have you played Fire Emblem Engage yet? Nope, not yet. Waiting for the price to drop a little bit more. $40, that's how much I'm willing to pay for that game. And I will get it. You are dead already? I kinda knew that already, yeah. Yeah, we're all dead. Not sure what you're talking about. Sega leaked a video of Persona 3 Remake. I haven't watched it. Sega leaked it? Sega? You sure it was Sega? And why will they leak a video of their own game? Why not just announce it? The Mario movie was surprisingly enjoyable. I expected it to be horrible. I haven't watched it. You like the old God of War games? I don't know. I mean, I loved Dante's Inferno, which is supposed to be a clone of those games. But I never got into God of War. Never. I don't know why. And I did play them, but I don't know why. There's something about them that I don't find appealing. I don't know why it is. I want to play the Fairy Tail game. I really want to play that game. Thank you, Yum Yum. I will get Grim Grimoire once more. As you should. I will also getting Trails to Asher and Dredge. Dredge? I've never heard of that. You have a great Easter Sunday too, man. Have you played Dark Cloud 2? Yes, I have. And I never finished it, but I thought it was pretty good. It's in the backlog, that game. Yukari was shooting at shadows in Tartarus, and the graphics are like Persona 5. Shooting at shadows is gonna be an action RPG? A third-person shooter? What? What? No, Atlus! You cannot sink this low. Apparently they want to make a new Street Fighter live-action movie. I hope it's good, and I hope Ryu is the protagonist and not Guile. And I hope they get a sexy as fuck actress for Kami. And I hope they respect the outfits, especially the one for Chun-Li. Dredge is like a horror fishing game. A horror fishing game. Let me read that again. Dredge is a horror fishing game. What, you fish monsters? Oh, now I want to. Now I'm interested. Like a horror fishing game. I'm interested in that. Oh, speaking about Green Grimoire, it's a good song to end the stream, guys. This song is from this game. Remaster is out. Get it. Strongly recommend it. It's a masterpiece. It's an amazing game. And it's hard. You guys love your hard games. It's very difficult, very challenging. Play it. Green Grimoire. And the last question is, what book do I start out with of yours? Or what's your favorite you wrote? My favorite that I wrote is The Reaper's Thorn. I think it's my masterpiece. I really mean it. I think it's the best book I've written. That's just my opinion. Of course, other readers or fans may have their own opinion. If it's too expensive for you, start with Nyx Inferno. That's one of my favorite books that I've written, Nyx Inferno, the complete edition. Because originally it was released in 2 volumes in Spanish, but the English version has the whole story, all 2 volumes together, as if it was one book, because it is one book. And those are the ones that I strongly recommend, but they have no RPG influences. If you're looking for an RPG influence, start with Terra Gaiden or the Revenant Army. That's my recommendation to you. Alright everybody, this was another edition of the goddamn Q&A. Play Green Grimoire. The remaster is very worth playing. Strongly recommend it. Give it a chance if you can. If you like tower defense, real-time strategy games with RPG elements, Green Grimoire is a must-play in my opinion. Everything from Vanillaware is gold. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. And as always, it was a pleasure having you guys here. Thanks for hanging out, and thank you